The human had been in captivity for 3 days when the alien queen finally spoke to him. Until then, she had only been a shadow on the edge of his senses. Her vast, insectal shape moving behind the translucent walls of his chamber. Her scent sharp as ozone, her presence overwhelming. Guards brought him nutrient paste in silvery bowls, but no words, no faces. Just silence and observation. His name was Marcus Hale, a systems engineer from the Erebus Dawn, one of humanity's newer exploratory ships. Their mission had been simple: chart uninhabited sectors beyond the Veil Rift. But uninhabited was a lie. His ship had been surrounded by biomechanical vessels shaped like living organisms, their hulls glistening with mucus and metallic scales. One by one, his crew had been taken, and he had been the one spared. Or chosen. He didn't know why. Not yet. On the 4th day, the chamber walls rippled open like a wound, and the queen entered. Marcus froze. Her body was a cathedral of alien design. Towering, jointed legs ending in needlepoints, a torso plated with iridescent carapace, wings folded like veined glass behind her. Her face, or what passed for one, was a mix of mandibles and soft tissue, eyes like pools of mercury that shifted with disturbing intelligence. And yet, there was something vulnerable about her, something searching. She approached with a slowness that felt rehearsed, almost ceremonial, and then with a sound like silk tearing she spoke. "Do you find me ugly, human?" Her voice was not made of words, but of vibrations in his bones. It wasn't sound so much as resonance, a whisper that slid into the marrow. Marcus blinked. He had been prepared for interrogation, maybe torture, but this? He stared at her, his mind blanking, and then, of all the possible responses, he burst out laughing. Not mocking laughter, not cruel. It was the kind of wild, uncontrollable laughter that came when the universe became too absurd to comprehend. A man, a ship engineer from Earth, being asked about beauty by a creature that could snap him in half with one claw. How could anyone not laugh? The queen froze, her silver eyes narrowing. The guards around the chamber stirred, their chitinous armor rattling like dry leaves. But Marcus couldn't stop. His shoulders shook, his ribs ached, and the more he tried to hold it in, the harder he laughed. Finally he gasped, clutching his side. "Ugly. Lady, you're the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. But ugly? That's not even the right word." The queen tilted her head, mandibles clicking. "Explain." Marcus wiped his eyes. "Look, humans. We don't look at something like you and think, ugly. We think alien, strange, dangerous, beautiful in a way that's not meant for us. Uglies. When something is broken, twisted, incomplete. You're complete as hell. I mean, damn, you're majestic." The silence that followed was suffocating. For a moment, Marcus wondered if he had just signed his death warrant. But then something shifted in her eyes. A ripple, a flicker of light. Amusement. Relief. He couldn't tell. "You laugh at me," she whispered. "No one laughs at me. Not even my own kind." The middle secrets of the queen. Over the next days, their exchanges deepened. The queen returned again and again, always with a question. She seemed obsessed with human perception, with the strange, fragile lens through which Marcus saw the universe. "Why do you paint your walls with color?" she asked once. "Why disguise steel with fabric?" "Because steel is cold," Marcus replied. "And we want warmth, even if it's only an illusion." Another time she asked, "Why do you mate for affection, not conquest?" Marcus grinned. "Because conquest ends. Affection doesn't." Each answer seemed to fascinate her, as though she were unearthing truths lost to her species. Slowly, Marcus pieced it together. Her people were old, a civilization that had devoured 1,000 worlds. They valued strength, symmetry, domination. Beauty was measured by cruelty, by how perfectly one could conquer without flaw. Yet somewhere, deep within her, the queen hungered for another kind of validation, for something gentler, something human. One night, as her massive form loomed closer than ever, she confessed, "When I was spawned, they named me the Imperfect One. My thorax was asymmetrical by a fraction, my mandibles uneven, my wings scarred before they hardened. They would have culled me, but I tore my siblings apart and claimed the brood myself. Strength saved me, but beauty was denied me. Always denied." Her voice shivered, soft as wind through shattered glass. "Until you laughed." Marcus stared at her. For the first time, he didn't see a predator. He saw loneliness. He saw someone who had fought her whole existence for approval and had never received it. And he realized why she had chosen him. Not for interrogation, not for dissection. She wanted truth. The kind only a human might give. He leaned back, sighing. "Queen, listen. Beauty's not symmetry. It's not perfection. Connection. The way someone makes you feel. Sometimes it's scars that make us beautiful. They tell stories." Her mandibles quivered. Scars as stories. Exactly. Conflict rising. But their fragile bond did not go unnoticed. The other royals, the princes of her kind, massive warlords who obeyed her only grudgingly, had grown restless. They saw her visits to the human as weakness. Rumors spread of rebellion, of blades being sharpened in the shadows. One evening, Marcus was awakened by a deafening screech. The walls of his chamber split, and the queen staggered in, ichor seeping from a wound in her flank. Behind her, alien guards lay in ruin, their bodies twitching. "They come for me," she rasped. "My reign is ending." Marcus scrambled to her side, his heart hammering. "What do you want me to do?" Her massive hand, tipped with claws like obsidian knives, lowered toward him. She placed it gently on his chest. "Laugh. Laugh again. Let them hear it. Let them know the Imperfect One was never broken." The chamber shook as rebels forced their way in. Hulking princes, their carapaces shining, their voices booming like war drums. They stormed into the room, prepared to slaughter both queen and captive. And Marcus laughed. He laughed louder than he ever had, a raw, defiant sound that echoed off the living walls. The princes froze, their alien eyes narrowing at the absurdity of it. To them, laughter was an alien weapon, something unpredictable, uncontrollable, incomprehensible. And in that moment of hesitation, the queen rose, wings unfurling, her wounded body trembling but defiant. "She calls me her Imperfect Queen," Marcus shouted through his laughter. "But to us, she's perfect enough to make the universe jealous." The queen struck. With claws and wings and fury, she tore into her would-be usurpers, scattering their bodies like broken glass. Marcus ducked for cover, but never stopped laughing, feeding her strength with every breathless burst. By the time silence fell, ichor pooled across the floor, and the queen stood victorious, her chest heaving. She turned to him, eyes glowing.